switch everything on because I'm recording it with Zoom, but it won't see any of you, it just sees me. So we're going to start standing up nice and tall, feet hip distance apart, shoulders drawn down, lengthening up through the spine. Core engaged. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're gently going to drop the chin towards the chest. We're going to roll down one vertebra at a time, nice and slowly. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. You're going to take a nice deep breath in at the bottom. Readjust that core nice and gently, restack it. And the last thing that's going to lift up is the head. Nice deep breath in, chin to the chest. Rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slowly. Remember to keep those knees soft when you're doing this. It is all about the spine. I've got the cat now. I don't know if you can hear it. It's come back to the door meowing at me. Do you mind if I just let the cat in again? Come on, cat. Quick. Right, the cat is back in the room. I think that's 4. Okay, just gently, while we're waiting just for everyone to finish, nice and gently, just do some shoulder rolls. So when you're doing these shoulder rolls, really think about your shoulder blades gliding around the rib cage. Remember to breathe nice and deeply. You're going to go 4 one way, and then when you're ready, reverse that rotation. Nice and gently go 4 the other way. I don't know what it's doing up in West Malvern, but the fog has just dropped.
Yeah, we've got fog.
You've got fog. Well, I've been out this morning, shoulder shrugs.
We're up in the cloud.
Up in the cloud. I can't see the field behind me now. It's just disappeared. But it was clear this morning. I ran round. It was icy on the grass. You can see all the frost on the grass, but there was no fog. But we're definitely foggy now. Okay. Now I'm going to use my block. So, first movement, I'm going to squeeze into my block. So I've got my elbows at shoulder height. I'm going to engage my core. Take one deep breath in. As I exhale, I'm pushing it away. Now when you go away, you only go part way. Do not go all the way. If you go all the way, you can't keep the pressure on. So it's a small movement, push away, and then draw that back. And exhale, pushing away, and drawing that back. I like your book, Cara.
In fact, you better have the title.
I can't quite see the title. Oh, Robert Harris.
Hi.
Okay, we're gently going to release. So you're gently going to release. Just stretch your arms back. And that's just going to stretch out through the front of the chest. Bringing your block back. The next movement we're going to do, we're going to inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your palms into the block. And this time we're going to lift above our heads. Now again, you only go so far up. If you go any higher than that, you can't keep the pressure on. So exhale as you go up. Inhale as you bring that back. And exhale. Core's nice and tight. Gently bring that back. And exhale. And inhale. One more to do. Really squeeze in. So you're really making those muscles work. And gently release. That's nice. Now when you finish that, you can use your block, join your hands together and start to lift up. If you're more flexible, you can put your block down and you can be here. So if you're more flexible, you can come here and just stretch it through. Don't overstretch because you're still sort of warming up. Just taking a few nice breaths. There we go. And gently release. Okay, now I'm going to place my block on the floor. Now remember, if you've got a mat, don't put your block on the mat because it'll make it even harder. You can do the same on your book or your pillow, whatever you've got, guys. So you can place your foot onto that block. Do you want me to tilt my camera down? And then that's better. So I'm going to place my foot on the block. Make sure your toes are facing forward. Everything's in line. Weight bearing knees nice and soft. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring that knee all the way up to hip height. And then from there, leading with the heel, just push away. Inhale as that comes back. And exhale. By all means, if you need to hold on to something, please do so. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Try and stay lengthened through the spine. So we're not leaning forward or backwards, we're standing nice and tall. When you've done 4 there, we're going to change direction. You go into the side. Now when you go to the side, make sure those toes face forward. Do not rotate them out. Gently bring that back. Weight bearing knees soft. Standing on that block makes it a lot harder. I'm going to be up in West Malvern, Cara, this week at some point, so I'll drop, if I find your block, I will drop it off.
That's very kind.
Because I've got Drew's ball, so I need to drop Drew's ball to him. Although, after today, we know whether we're back or not next week. Okay, when you've done 4 there, you're going to point the toes, you're going to lead with the toe, you're going to take that leg behind you. Now it depends how flexible you are as to how far you go. You can go all the way over if you want to, until you're flat, and then gently bring that back. If you're not that flexible and hip only go as far as you feel comfortable, you must lean forward. Whenever you take your leg behind you, you must lean forward. It's nice, controlled movements. And exhale. One more to do here. So make sure that knee comes all the way to hip height if you can. There's a little bit of cheating going on, I can see. Yeah, those that are cheating, they know. And keep the hips square. Lots of people are rotating. Hips should be square to the floor when you take that leg behind. Okay. We're going to swap that to the other side. So when you're ready, swap that to the other side. So stand nice and tall, find your balance first, make sure your foot's nicely planted on that block. Weight bearing knees slightly soft, lengthening through the spine, shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, we're going to bring the knee up to hip height. Take another deep breath in. On the exhale, leading with the heels. So lead with the heels, you're pointing your toes towards your knee when you lengthen that leg away. Gently bring that back. It's all nice, slow, controlled movements. Weight bearing knees slightly soft. And exhale. Got one more to do here. Exhaling. This time on the exhale, I'm going to take my leg out to the side, so toes parallel with the other foot, so toes pointing forward, don't let them rotate out. Gently bring that back. You are allowed to hold on to something. You're still going to be working your ankle and your knee muscles really hard. One side's always easier than the other. You've got a dining room chair or something, John. Or just do it on the floor rather than on the block.
Yeah. That might be better.
Yeah.
It's the carpet, I think.
Yeah, well, if you've quite a lot of sponge underneath, it does make it harder. So when you're ready to change direction, you're going to point your toe, you're going to lengthen that leg behind. Now how far over you go is entirely up to you. Remember to keep the hips square to the mat and then gently bring that back. And exhale. Knees nice and soft. Even I'm wobbling a bit today. But it's the same thing, it's because of the rug. The blocks on the rug, which makes it harder. And then that's the last one. So don't twist out through the hips. Keep it all nice and square, nice square. When you finish, you're gently going to come off that block. Just have a little wiggle. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to place my feet back onto my block, but it's the balls of my feet. And you need your balls, your feet to be, if there's a line down the centre, on that line. Okay, so your heels need to be able to come off. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lift right up. And then when you're ready, you're gently going to release and take that all the way down. So when you go down, you're trying to get your heels to the floor, but don't overstretch, guys, okay? Only go as far, don't force it. And then you're going to come up again. So all the way up. And then all the way down. Or as low as you can get them. So you should be getting a great stretch in those calves. All the way up. And all the way down. And then this is going to be the last one. And you can gently come off. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stand on the end of my mat. I'm gently going to roll it down. I'm going to walk it out into a nice strong plank position. So bring your hands to the floor, keep the knees nice and soft. Gently walk them out. Lengthen through and come to that nice strong plank position. I'm just having a little look at everybody. Yeah, it looks good. And just drop the knees to the mat when you've had enough. So what I want you to do, you're in your nice strong plank position here, and then from there you're going to inhale. As you exhale, I want you to push back into downward dog. So we're going to go up. I'm going to slide on the carpet, so I need to just put my mat down, and then I'll redo that. This has got doggy footprints all over it because I put it down earlier, and the little monkeys walked all over it. And then push back into downward dog. And you're going to do 4 of that movement. Just going to have a little look and see what everybody's up to. Yeah, everybody's looking nice and good. Okay, so it's full plank. And downward dog. Okay, when you finish, just drop the knees to the mat. Okay. Everyone all right? So the next one, I'm going to use the block under my feet. If your wrists are hurting, by all means plank on your elbows. Okay, so I'm going to put the block, make sure you can see it. I'm going to come into that plank position. Now from there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my leg out to the side, touch the floor, gently bring that back. Leg to the side. Exhale as you take it out, inhale as you draw it back. We've got 4 to each side of that movement to do. Now the wider you go, the harder it is. shoes ever sneezing.
Oh, it's me. Sorry.
Four to do. I'm just giving everybody a minute just to finish that. It's quite intense, that one.
Oh, you're telling me.
I've got one more to do. One more to do. Now, there's different ways of different layers to this one. So I'm going to use my block and I'm going to put my elbow on my block. I'm going to have to do it forward because I haven't got enough room. Now I'm going to go wide with my feet. So I'm now in my nice strong plank position. Now, you can either just reach forward, or if you want it harder, you can reach round. So you come forward and then round. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale.
Are you kneeling or planking?
I'm in a full plank, so if I go sideways, I'm in a full plank position. So I'm there, but if I do that, I'm here. There you go, I've moved my fire guard now. So I'm there. It's really, if you're doing the circles, it's really hard. Try not to twist. Try and keep the hips nice and level. That's why I want your feet nice and wide. Easy one, just reach forward and reach back. That's the easier one. That's the harder one. Knees down when you've had enough. It's really quite tough, this one, so don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Try not to twist your hips too much. Have your feet really wide. Bit nasty that. It's warmed you up though, guys. Okay, feet hip distance apart when you're ready, sitting up nice and tall. And from there, we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to lift up and out our hips. And you're going to reach as far forward as you can. And then inhale as you gently draw that back. And exhale. So reach as far forward as you can. And gently draw that back. Really stretching through. If you're really struggling with this, you can always sit on your block if you want to. Now just take the pressure off slightly. When you've done 4 there, you're going to take your feet wider than hip distance apart. Arms are going to come out to the side, sitting up nice and tall. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, let's come across to the opposite little toe. Inhale as you draw that back. And exhale. Reach across. Opposite little toe. Gently draw that back. So come all the way back to centre. Make sure your hands are nice and wide here. Lots of people do this. Let's be tall. Slow, controlled. We're not windmills. Trying to get those muscles to stretch. Give them time to stretch. Shoulders are drawn down. I can see a lot of shoulders lifting up by the ears. Get your shoulders drawn down. Nice and gently taking over. Exhale. Stretching it through. And exhale. And then gently release. So I'm going to bring my feet in. My feet are now hip distance apart. Bring my arms forward. Now, the further you lean back, so see curve through, chin to the chest, the harder it is. If you want it a bit easier, you are here. If you want it a little bit more challenging, come here. Inhale as you exhale, you're going to reach behind. Make sure you get these shoulders facing the opposite way. So it's not just your arms, it's your whole spine is twisting as you go round. You reach low to the floor, keep the shoulder down. Lots of people have their shoulder lifted, and you're just going to scoop it round and scoop it back. Try not to hold on to your legs. If you can, don't hold on to your legs. Keep your knees hip distance apart, your feet hip distance apart. scooping it round. I'm just going to sit and look at the camera for a minute while you're doing that. So knees bent, feet hip distance apart, and just reaching round. Make sure you get some twists going through that spine. That's it. And then scoop the other side. That's nice. I can't see Janet. I've got your ceiling, Janet. I presume you're okay. Yeah, I see your hand now. Fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to use my block or my pillow or whatever you've got. I'm going to pop it between my feet. Don't mind which way. I'm then going to drop back onto my elbows, push my lumbar spine down into the mat, chin towards the chest. I'm going to bring my knees in towards my chest. I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach my feet to the sky. Nice and gently. And then inhale as that comes back. And exhale. Just reach, a nice stretch going through those hamstrings. Gently bring that back. Cores tight throughout. Exhaling as they go up. Inhale as they come back. And exhale. And inhale. Now I'm going to make that harder, so progress the movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push away. Now the lower you push towards the floor, the harder it is. If you're down here, that's going to be hard. If you want that less challenging, maybe come here. Okay, so have a go, whichever level you feel you want to. Inhale, exhale, push away. Really tighten that core up and then slowly draw that back. So it's slow and controlled. Exhale. Inhale. Slow and controlled. And inhale. Okay. You're gently going to put that block down. Right, when you're finished, I'm coming all the way down to the mat. My arms are down beside the body. Blocks to one side for a second. I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to stretch out opposite arm and leg. So if you can, you stretch the leg along the floor. The arm should come all the way to the mat as well. But because of the way I'm laying, I can't quite reach. I'm too tall. So arm over the head. If you can get it to the floor, great. Okay, I'm just going to look at my cameras for a second. See how everybody's doing. Oh, there's Ruth trying to join us. There we go, opposite arm and leg. Nice and gently. Hi Ruth, are you in? There she is. Hi Ruth. I can see you now.
Oh, brilliant.
You alright?
Your network bandwidth is low. Right. I'll plug in now.
Okay, once you've done 4 there, we're going into pelvic tilts. So what I want you to do throughout is put your block that way round between your knees. Okay? And you're going to hold it there while you do your pelvic tilts and your bridges. So make sure your chin slightly towards the chest. The lumpy bit on the back of your head is where you're in contact with that mat. Feet and knees should be hip distance apart. Now if you find your hips are narrower than that, go that way round. So if you feel you want to, you can go that way round. For most people, it's that way round. Okay. Inhale, exhale, push that lumbar spine down onto the mat. And then as you inhale, gently rock the pelvis the other way, so you're exaggerating that gap under that lumbar spine. Okay. So we should be there. And you've got 4 of that movement to do first. This is because I can't be with you. So it's pelvic tilt, John. I can see your knees going and your feet coming off the floor. It's pelvic tilt's ready for bridges. Once you've done 4 there, we're going into the bridge. You're going to inhale as you exhale, keeping that core nice and tight. C-curve through. Start to lift your bottom off the mat. So your bottom's off the mat, but your lumbar spine is on. Then nice and slowly lift a little bit higher. And if you can, you're going to come all the way up into a nice strong bridge position, which should be a straight line between your shoulder, your hip and your knee. Okay, and you should be keeping that block between your knees. It shouldn't fall out. Taking a nice deep breath in at the top, and then as you exhale, you're going to C-curve through. Nice and gently curve, 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 curve back to the mat. You're trying to get as much movement through that spine as possible. Nice deep breath in. And off you go again. Let's do 2 basic ones, because I just want to check my cameras and have a look and see who's doing what. Pull this camera a little bit closer. There we go. It's better. Okay. Once you're on your 3rd bridge, can you come up into your bridge position and then take your arms over your head? So you're going to come up into your bridge and then take the arms over the head. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Just sat here having a look, see who's doing what. You're all looking great. Nice, Ruth. Nice to see you. Now I'm going to progress this movement. So I've got my block between my knees. Right, one way round. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to come up into my bridge. I'm doing it a bit quick. Now from there, I'm now going to lift one leg. I've still got my block though, look. And then I'm going to release. Squeeze up again because you would have dipped. All the time, I'm just applying the pressure on the inner thigh just to keep that block. Okay, you're going to do 4 to each side, and then you're going to curve back to the mat. So I'm just going to have a sneaky peek in my cameras again. It's quite hard. You have to concentrate, move slowly, keep the core tight. Make sure you lift up. So don't just do 4 waving the legs around. Every time you place your foot back down, that way, Ruth. Ruth. Yes. Yep. Yeah. If that feels too wide, go that way because you're smaller than me. So if that feels too wide, you can go there. Okay. Once you've done 4 there, that movement, guys, you're going to go again. Okay, so it's exactly the same movement. You're going to lift up. But when you get up here, take your arms across your chest. Now this is going to make it really, really hard. You're really going to have to concentrate because what's going to happen is your hips are going to want to twist. You've really got to concentrate, keeping lifted. So really use your glutes. Make sure your ankles are below your knees. And you're there. So this is going to make it a lot harder. Try up to 4 to each side of that movement. Can you feel the difference? Yeah, I can see quite a lot of wobbling going on. You have to really, if it's too hard, by all means put your arms back to the mat. If you're finding it too hard, but you have to really slow it down, really concentrate on what you're doing. Push up, David, you've dipped quite a bit then. Oh, have you finished?
okay.
And push up again, push up. Don't just lift each leg, you've got to push up between each movement. And replace and push up. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my block out from between my knees and we're going to use it to stretch our backs. So I'm going to come up into my bridge position. Now I've got my block on edge this way. I'm going to place it on my hips and then I'm going to release back down. So it's actually on my pelvis. Okay, don't just put it on your lumbar spine area, it needs to be on your hips, and you drop back down onto it. Now if you want a slightly deeper stretch, that does nothing for me, so I just move it so it's right on the edge, the crest of my pelvis there, and then from there you can take your arms over your head. If you want to, you can walk your feet a fraction further away to get a little bit deeper into that stretch, and just relax into that stretch, holding and breathing. So holding and breathing. It's quite a nice stretch to do. You're just taking some of your weight into that block. It just makes it a bit easier to stretch. When you feel you've had enough, there is no rush. Nice and slowly and gently lift up and then gently take your weight out, your block out, sorry, and then just release back to the mat. Nice full body stretch, arms over the head, lengthen right through. Just stretch the whole out. Well done. I'm going to stay sideways so you can see what I'm up to. Now I'm going to put my block between my feet. So I'm in neutral spine position, my core is nice and tight. I'm going to inhale as I exhale, knees towards the chest, extend the legs towards the ceiling. We normally do this with the ball. From there I'm going to reach up, I'm going to put the block into my fingers. My feet are then going to come back to the mat, and then I'm going to take my arms over the head, touch the floor behind. Gently bring it back. All the time the core is tight. So when you're in that position, this is going to want to lift. You've got to really concentrate on this core being tight to stop it doing so. Gently bring the arms back over the shoulders. Then your knees are going to come into your chest, extend the legs, place the block between your feet. Arms are going to come back down beside the mat. Bend your knees and just touch the floor. And we're going to go again. So deep breath in, exhale, reach up, stretch towards the ceiling. Nice slow controlled movements. Arms to the ceiling, take the block to the fingers. Feet are going to come back to the mat. Arms then come over the head, watch the core, keep it tight, touch the floor. Gently bring the arms back over the shoulders. Knees come back in towards the chest, nice and slowly. Reach the feet towards the sky. Put the block back between the feet. Arms come back down beside the mat. Bending the knees, bend the knees, touch the floor. So bend the knees, touch the floor, core tight. Deep breath in, exhale. Knees to the chest, extend the legs towards the ceiling. Reach up, take the block. Bend the knees, feet come back to the floor. Arms come over the head, stretch through. Gently bring the arms back. All done. You've still got your feet in the air, David. If you've got the block in your feet, which way are you going? So feet, you don't have your arms and legs all moving at the same time. It's one or t'other. It's very slow, controlled, precise. So arms come back down beside the mat if you've got the block between your feet. And then touch the floor. If the block's between the feet then go to the sky. When they get to the sky, the arms then reach up, take the block. Feet come back, so your knees are bent. Your knees should be bent always. Arms over the head. Bring the block over the shoulders. Knees come back in towards the chest. Extend the legs to the sky. Put the block between the feet. Arms come back to the mat. Bend the knees. Now arms the other way. Arms the other way, David. Yeah. Bend the knees. Touch the floor. We've got one more to do. Bring the knees towards the chest. Extend the legs towards the sky. Reach up. Take the block in the hands. Bend the knees. Put the feet back to the mat. Arms then come over the head. Touch the floor. Arms come back over the shoulders. Keep control of that core. Knees come back in towards the chest. Extend the legs towards the sky. Put the block between the feet. Arms come back to the mat. Bend the knees and put the feet back to the mat as well. There's a lot to think about with that. So bend the knees and feet back to the mat, David. You got it. Now I'm going to keep my block between my feet. Now I'm going to roll over. I'm going to flip round, so hopefully you can see me. Hold on. So I'm in this position. I'm down on my side. I'm lengthening through, and the block's between my feet. Now, you want to be a straight line between your shoulder, your hip, your knee, and your ankle. So I've got my head resting on this arm. This arm then comes down onto the mat. Now make sure your hips are stacked on top of each other. It's very easy to lean forward or lean back onto your bum cheek. You don't want to be doing that. I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm just going to lift my feet off the mat. And then I'm gently going to return. Okay, so you do that first. So as you exhale, I'm hoping you can all see me. I'm going to go this way round because you might be able to see me better this way round. So lengthen through. This hand's on the floor, hips are stacked on top of each other, and you're just going to lift and lower. That's the first one. I'm just going to have a little look in my camera, see what everybody's up to. I think that's John's feet I can see. I can't see Cara. I can't see Ruth. No, I can see Ruth, sorry, she's just in dark clothing. I can see her. I can see her moving now. I can't see Janet. Great. Okay, once you've done 4 there, I'm going to progress that. So, I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, making sure you don't lean backwards onto your bum cheeks, I'm going to lift up my upper body. Now, I'm keeping this hand on the floor for support, and I've lifted up my legs. I'm going to hold that for a count of 5, and then I'm gently going to release. Can you see, Gwen, all right? So, you take up your upper body and your legs. You hold for a count of 5. And then gently release. It's a lot harder. So you're really working into these muscles here. Deep breath in, exhale, squeeze that up, holding and breathing. And then gently take that back down. Now, you can just roll over. I'm going to swizzle all the way round to do the other side. So you've still got your block between your feet. Other side, lengthening through. You rest your head onto your arm, hand comes down. Inhale, exhale, just the feet lift up. Keep the hips stacked and then lower. And we've got 4 of that movement to do there. So just the feet to start with as the warm up. Just having a little look at everybody. Everyone's looking fine. Once you've done 4 there, then you change to the whole body. So still staying on your hip, you're going to inhale, exhale, and you're going to come here, lift up the upper body and the legs. Hold for a count of 5 and then gently release back to the mat. Deep breath in, hold, and back to the mat. And you've got 4 to do there. Lengthening through without tilting back onto your bum cheeks. Stay on your hip. It's quite hard to see on the cameras whether you're tilting back or not. Lengthening through and release. Okay, I'm just having a little look in my camera. Now I'm going to flick over backwards. I've still got my block between my feet. I'm coming this way round so it'll just be easy for you to see. Head down, inhale. As you exhale, I'm just going to lift and lower. So it's just lifting those legs slightly off the mat. So if you can, you've still got your block between your feet. If you're having trouble keeping hold of it, just do it without. And you're just going to keep your head on the mat, keep your hips square to the mat, and lift those legs up and down 4 times. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. Nice, slow, controlled movements. That looks good. So to progress that movement, what you're going to do is you're going to put a hold on. So I'm going to flick back over. Grab hold of my block between my feet. I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to lift and then I'm going to hold. So I'm going to hold for a count of 5. And then I'm going to lower. Deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze it up. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lower. And again, deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze it up. Lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower. I'm going to do one more. Deep breath in. Exhale. Squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gently going to release. Now you may need to do another one because you may have watched me do the first one. Carry on. When you finish though, can I just have a child's pose or a cat stretch? So child's pose is here. Cat stretch is here. I don't mind whichever one you fancy having a go at. Losing my leggings. Okay, so child's pose or cat stretch when you finish and I can just see you're done. Take your time, don't rush. Now I'm going to come back to a seated position. I'm going to come back to a seated position when you're ready. I'm going to place my block beside my foot. Now, depends how hard you want to make it. You can have it this way up, you can have it that way up, you can even have it that way up. I don't mind. Now I'm actually placing mine beside my knee. If you've got it beside your knee, that's hardcore. If you want it easier, you have it by your ankle. So, the hard movement is arms here. If you need to support your back, place your hands behind you. C curve through, chin towards chest, this foot's placed firmly on the floor. Inhale, exhale. Now I want you to see if you can lift, because in a minute we're going to go up and over that block. So you need to lift as high as the block. This is the hard one. We're just going up and down as a warm up first. Making sure you've just got the block in the correct place. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you return. You're going to do 4 to one side first. Once you've done 4 to one side, you're going to release and swap and do 4 to the other. So when you're ready, do 4 to the other side, making sure this leg is lifting high enough to be able to go over that block. Adjust your block if you feel you need to. If your lower back hurts at any moment, put your arms behind you or stop. That's 3. Nice slow controlled movements. This is 4. Okay, now I'm going to swap again. This time I'm going up and over my block. Up and over. If you want it harder, you can turn it sideways, which means you've then got to go wider. And you've got 4 to do there. Now the slower you move, the harder you work. It's entirely up to you where you want to go. Just taking a peek at everybody. Everyone seems to be doing very well. So we're working right into those hip flexors. Making sure you breathe. is my last one. When you finish, you're going to swap your block to the other side. Taking it up and over. Taking it back. Nice, slow, controlled movements. When you finish, just hug those knees into the chest. That's why I'm waiting for everyone to stop. You're still going, just take your time. It's quite a tough one, this. And we're going to stretch out those hips. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back down onto my mat. The first stretch I'm going to do, I'm going to place my hands on my knees. I'm going to do those knee circles. So you're going to bring your knees in towards your chest, and then you're going to circle round, using your arms to take the weight of your legs. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Big circles. You're going to do 4 in one direction. Now when you're doing this, allow your back to move. It's a stretch, so everything needs to soften. Still engage the core, but don't over tighten everything. Just allow everything to move. When you've done 4 circles in one direction, try 4 circles in another. So hands on the knees, scoop them round, allow everything to move. When you've done 4, you're just going to place your feet back on the mat, and we're just going to wait a minute just while I'm waiting for everyone to finish. Don't rush if you're still going. You might not have started until after I showed you the first movement. Right, David's just finishing off now. So what I want you to do is you're going to stretch one leg away from you. Now you're going to hug the other knee as close to the chest as you can get it. So imagine you're trying to bring your knee to your armpit. To the same side, knee to the armpit. Just feel the stretch. You get a great hip flexor stretch in the bent knee. So just one side, we're not lengthening. We're holding and stretching, David. So one foot's rested on the floor. The bent knee, you're just hugging into your armpit. That's it, don't change. Now from there, I'm going to release slightly. I'm going to bring my knee, you know, it's not going to happen, but you're going to imagine you're bringing it across to the opposite armpit. So you're bringing it across the body. Gwen, be careful. As soon as you go into that stretch, you're putting pressure on the outer hip. I can't remember which is your... It's the other one, is it? Okay, so that one's fine. So if I go this way round, so that was my plain one. This one I'm bringing across, and you should be getting a stretch into here. So it should be, feel the stretch in this area here. If you need to bring it across the body. Okay, just hold and stretch and breathe. Okay, I'm gently going to release. Now I'm going to swap that to the other leg. So you're going to bring the other leg in. First one is the plain hip flexor stretch where you bring the knee in towards the chest. Just hold and breathe. From there, gently release and bring that across the body. So this is the one on that hip. Don't overstretch, Gwen. Just keep it ever so gentle. Okay. And just feel that stretch in that outer hip here. Okay, we're gently going to release. We're going to go to a frog stretch. So you're going to join the soles of your feet together. Just let them gently rock out. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, just place your hands onto your inner thigh there and just feel that extra stretch. So wherever you want to be. Wonderful. You're going to release that stretch. So I'd like to do swan dives. We're just sort of practicing swan dives quite a bit at the moment because lots of people keep getting them a little bit wrong. So the more we practice, the easier it is. So coming over the other way, swan dive. The first thing to do is mobilise your back. So you're going to place your hands just slightly forward of your shoulders, keeping the hips on the mat, just wherever you end up. Now you might not come up as far as me, you might only come up to here and that's fine. But what I want you to do is you're going to get a great stretch going down through your chest. So the stretch should be all the way through here. Watch your back, you don't want too much pressure on your back. Okay, if that's okay and you want to take it to the full swan dive, come down again. I'm going to have to swivel round because otherwise I'm just going to headbutt my fireplace. So the full swan dive, you come up, deep breath in from here, watch your shoulders, keep your shoulders drawn down. John, pull your shoulders down, they look as though they're up by your ears. Inhale, exhale. Hopefully you saw my feet come up and I returned to my start position. Ruth, that was nice, I just saw Ruth's there. The trick is not to look at the floor. You have to look forward. I can see Kara's feet going up and down, I can see Gwen's feet going up and down. I can't see Janet at all. She's there somewhere.
I'm here.
David, yours doesn't look quite so good today for some reason. I don't know why.
Right.
You're not holding your curve. You're looking at the floor, I think, David, is the problem.
Okay.
Keep looking at the opposite wall. That was slightly better. When you've finished, when you've had enough, just put that into a child's pose or a cat stretch. So when you've done child's pose or a cat stretch, I don't mind. And then when you're ready, we're going to mermaid or merman, which I know everybody hates, but we're going to do it anyway. So how to get there? Just put your block to one side. From a seated position, rock your knees over to one side and take the top knee and pull it back. So that's your start position for the mermaid or the merman. If that is very uncomfortable, don't take the legs so far. You can still do it here or there. Okay, now from there I'm going to take this arm up over my ear. As it comes up over my ear, this arm's going to come down beside my hip. So you've got to be careful you're not going backwards. Lots of people take their elbow back here somewhere when they do this. Well, the stretch is then here. The stretch shouldn't be here, it should be here, up your waist, all the way up here, all the way down the side. Gently bring that back, so this arm then tucks in, this arm then comes up and over, so you reach over. Now a lot of people struggle here. You are allowed to grab hold of this leg if you feel as though you're going to fall backwards. Just have a little look. Okay, and then I'm going to go back the other way. We're going to do 4. So the arms are like windmills. This elbow is in line with my hips, so the stretch is down my waist. And you push your hips here to increase the stretch. Push them to the sky. And then gently go the other way. Arms over the ear. Wherever you end up. All the stretch again. Real good deep stretch going through your waist. You're right, Gwen. Just take your time. Take your time. Don't rush. nice, slow, controlled movements. This is the last one. When you've done that last one, what we're going to do is we're going to swap the legs the other way. So gently bring the legs back, take them the other way, and take this top leg back. And then when you're ready, the arm's going to come up over the ear. You're going to drop down onto your elbow. Make sure everything's in line and you're not leaning backwards. Gently stretch through. Slowly come back. Tuck this arm under. This arm's going to come up over the ear. If you need to hold on here, you can do. That's it. Keep moving. Keep going, guys. So I don't know when old Boris Johnson's going to decide whether we're allowed to play or not again. It's supposed
I think
to,
it's
it's today at some point. I don't know what time.
I don't either.
No, I'll listen to the lunchtime news.
Yeah.
Let's see, it might be that or it might be the 6 o'clock. So if lockdown's continuing, if he's not opening village halls and stuff again, we'll just carry on with our Zoom and YouTube stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to carry on with the YouTube stuff anyway for those that feel uncomfortable coming into the halls. Depending on how many people I've got and what time they want, I might even do a Zoom class for those that don't want to go back to a hall. Okay. When you feel as though you've been thoroughly stretched in all different directions, we're into hands and knees. We'll do some cat stretch and cow pose. So cat stretch and cow pose. Just take the tension off your back. I can see Felicity looking in the door at me now. Go make me a coffee, Fliss. Can you hear her? Make me a latte, please, Fliss.
Could you make me one too, please?
Can you make Cara one as well? Come and wave at everybody, Fliss. We're just finishing. Stay. Stay. There you go. Wave at Cara. She wants a coffee as well, she said. There you go. Hi. Just the small machine, espresso. Okay. Now I'm not going to stand up because if I do, I'm going to go completely out of frame. So when you're ready, in your own time, downward dog, and then you can nice and gently rise up. Oh, she's let the menace in now. This is Jenny's puppy, look. He's just come to annoy everybody. Zeus, come here. Zeus, come here. Sit. Sit. There you go. Very handsome boy. Sit. He's almost a year old. Wagging his tail. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale. It's complete chaos, my house. What would, cat sat up there. I don't know if you can see the cat. She's sat up on she's got one of those cat perchy things, watching everybody. I've got Peanut on his bed. And then the puppy at the door waiting to come and annoy everybody. Well done, guys. Excellent job. So I'm gonna put that class onto YouTube. So if you want to repeat it anytime, you can, if you're missing this one. I won't do where I was thinking about doing the same Zoom number thing. I'm not going to bother doing that because I had a chat with Steve and he said it could mess up people's computers. So you will get a new link for every class that we do. I'll keep it like that because then it won't mess things up. So tomorrow will be yoga stretch. So I'll put that on in just a minute when I switch off now. So again, anybody can do any class they like as a freebie to try if you want to do it. If you want to have a go, you can. All right, so maybe see you all tomorrow. So yoga stretch, you're just going to need your mats, possibly your yoga block if you need a bit of extra help with some of the stretches. Okay. All right, take care, guys. Oh, I'm coming up to West Malvern. For anybody in West Malvern, if you need anything at any of the shops, ping me a text and I'll grab it for you. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to have a search for Kara's block. Drew's ball's got to come up. And Robin wants a fitness ball as well. So if anybody wants anything from Morrison's as I come through, as I'm coming up, ping me a text and I'll grab it for them.
How very kind.
Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for yoga stretch. Bye everyone. Bye Gwen. Take care. Bye David. Bye Ruth. Bye Janet. Bye John. I think Kara's gone.
See you Friday.
See you Friday, John. Take care.
Yeah. Yeah. And you.
Almost at the end of
Thank
this
you.
lockdown.